Hey, come on. What are you guys saying? Right here. Same face?
Are you all right, Mr. Sigma? Did you hit your head or something?
Huh? What? Didn't make any sense. Why didn't they recognize me?
Sigma, your consciousness can jump through time. You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future.
What does that mean?
Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future. From 45 years ago.
I'm in old man Sigma's body right now, aren't I? When I looked around frantically. A pond! I ran to it and threw myself down onto my knees. Crawling on all fours, I approached the edge. My heart was hammering inside my chest. A cold sweat trickled down my spine. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, damn it! I struggled to take deep breaths. Then slowly, I peered into the pond looking for my reflection. What? Called it! No. This can't be real. This face!
It's your face, Dr. Sigma Climb. Although, to the you that's behind it now, it's your face 45 years from now. Zero, the mastermind of the AB project.
I was Zero the whole time!
Is you.
What? Oh wait, hold on, an old man. What? No! That's not possible! That's bullshit!
No. It's the truth. Fighting it isn't going to do you any good. Please, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor!
You will be. A pioneer in the field of genetic engineering.
You're lying!
No, I'm not.
Why do you sound so bored? Seriously, Akane, what the fuck?
You created him. Well, I suppose I should say you are going to create him.
Create?
His name is Kyle Climb. Your clone. That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself. 23 years ago, in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle. Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future. When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him. The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth's. If nothing was done, the reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones. But you prepared for that. You gave him that armor. Ever since he was born, he's lived inside of it. It kept his muscles and bones strong. He wasn't forced into it for the nonary game. He's been wearing it every day, all his life.
But why would future me create a clone?
He was to be your spare. If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place.
Wow, I'm an asshole.
I mentioned before that the AB projects A and B stood for after and before.
Why is Kyle still KO'd as fuck?
That isn't all they mean, though. The A also means anima, and the B means body. Anima is another word for the soul, or the consciousness. Body is, well, exactly what it says on the tin.
No!
The past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They switch. That was the chief goal of the project.
Wait, so the future person goes into the past person?
Sigma, do you remember the note you found in the garden?
You mean this, right?
Yes.
Yes, that thing that made no sense to me at the time, and still doesn't. Please explain.
Ah, of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this timeline.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Rhizome 9. That checks out, doesn't it?
Sigma, take a good look at this. It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is making. A is where everything began. December 25th, 2028. You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness. From there, you jumped to B. January 25th, 2074.
But wait, then who gassed him? I mean, his future self couldn't have traveled to the past to gas his past self, right? That just wouldn't make any sense. Was it Akane?
You woke up in one of the AB rooms in Rhizome 9. You are in your own body, but it is 67 years old. Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the future. I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity.
It would also explain why he's got metal arms that he doesn't remember getting. His future self remembers the metal arms, obviously, or the body would at the very least. The consciousness of past Sigma would not remember it at all.
The body you woke up in was much older.
I mean, look at his right eye? Wait, no, that's his left eye. Reflection makes it a little difficult. Whatever. Anyway, moving on. One of his eyes is a cyborg eye. He went not full cyborg. He went cyborg in the future.
Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker. In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that out. Moving on. If you continue along this line, what happens next? You reach C, which is January 27th, 2074. That is today.
Right. And what happens today?
Whoa. Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up?
36 hours to be exact. Have you already forgotten? You were all infected with Radical 6. The virus slowed your brain down. So yes, 36 hours of real time have passed. But to you, it only seemed like 14 hours and 40 minutes.
Damn.
Now Now comes the important part. After this, your consciousness will return to the past.
And undo the future that is Aku. Sorry. Different series. My bad.
It will re-emerge at point D.
Okay.
April 13th, 2029. You will return to your younger body.
But that's the same day as the reactor explosions.
Yes. That is why I said it will be too late. You will return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will have already happened. The story does not end there, however. The line continues. After reaching point D, you will eventually return to B. But this time, you won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal. Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body, until you reach point B.
Okay.
Do you remember when B is, Sigma?
January 25th, 2074. According to what you just told us, it's 36 hours ago.
Correct. That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of 67-year-old Sigma. So where did the older version of you go when you took his body?
Back to before he got gassed. Point A. December 25th, 2028. The day all of this started.
Yes. His consciousness will go back in time 45 years. For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body. While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be you in the past.
But once that body reaches point D, my 22-year-old consciousness will come back from point C.
That's correct. When that happens, the older version of you will be ejected from your younger body and return to your body at C.
So it's rotating?
Rotating. I suppose you could put it that way. But look at this illustration closely. What if you take all these lines and untangle them?
You get a bunch of arrows.
You get one single line.
Sure, let's go with that.
It may look complicated, but in truth, it's a single straight path, with one exception.
This line here at point E, right?
Exactly. Point E is December 31st, 2028, the day of the total eclipse.
The day Radical 6 got out of the test facility.
Yes. By now, you've likely figured it out on your own. The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point A. If we can do that, we can change what happened 45 years ago.
So the old version of me will keep Radical 6 from getting out by jumping into my 22-year-old body on New Year's Eve 2028.
Yes. That is why this line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D. In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C. And for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility. That is why we have faithfully retraced history up to this point, so that we might save humankind from destruction and undo the horrors of the last 45 years.
Tell me one thing.
What is that?
You said that point C is January 27th, 2074, which is today. There's going to be a jump, and I'll jump to April 13th, 2029.
Yes, that's right.
But, look, I'm still old. When is this jump supposed to happen?
Very soon.
Soon?
Yes.
And what's going to trigger it?
We need potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the 4th dimension. Fortunately, we now have plenty of that. Thanks, ironically, to Radical 6. All that remains is to launch your consciousness, like a bullet from a slingshot.
And how do you propose to do that?
Didn't I tell you? A crisis. A moment balanced between life and death.
Well, shit, you're planning on killing me, aren't you?
That can jumpstart your brain.
What do you mean?
You haven't figured it out. I mean this.
Dio's knife? No sooner were those words out of my mouth. Phi! I screamed and leapt toward them. Akane was already in motion, the knife diving toward Phi's chest. I was almost there! When I regained consciousness, I was on the floor. There was a dull pain in my chest. I felt a cut, but something was in the way. It took me a moment to realize that it was Akane's body lying on top of me. I twisted my neck to look around. Nearby was an old tombstone. On it was written a few words in Latin. Tu fui ego eres. What you are, I was. What I am, you will be. So that's where, the third game is going to take place. Us traveling all the way back to that moment, I guess. Unless they want to pop in another timeline to solve this. Well, I think that's it. I mean, I'll keep the credits in because obviously these are very special credits. They're not the black ones with nothing behind them. This is our, final jump for this game. So I guess it's time to go over my thoughts of this game. Like the first one, very convoluted plot, but still very entertaining to play through. The puzzles were kind of super difficult in this one. I mean, they weren't easy in the first game, but man, I feel like for a lot of, like a huge percentage of the game, I needed a walkthrough, and that really upset me. I mean, to be fair, I was also recording a lot of these early morning. So that probably had an effect on it. I still enjoyed the game. Like I said, it was a fun story to tromp through. And it surprised me a lot. Maybe even traumatized me sometimes. Like the pile of corpses in the one timeline where everyone died. I still think about that. Anyway, so yeah, real good game. I don't actually have much else to say on the matter, so I think I'm just gonna let the credits roll from here and be quiet. Let the music play and have our little credits clip show go off. And maybe there'll be like a post-credit cutscene, and I'll see you there. Phi end. A new destination has been added to the flowchart. Oh. Well, then, I guess there is more. Headquarters? April 13th, 2020. Oh. I guess we're not done yet. It's still got, ways to go! Yeah, there's Phi end. And there's that. So, guess we'll end this episode here! And in the next one, we'll be the finale. Maybe. See you then!